Hello, friends. Today we're going to talk about some politic topics and the effect it can have in our communities, brought to you by some of most of the upvoted minds in Reddit. If you enjoy it, please like and subscribe. Also comment what are your thoughts in this matter, and what other topics do you want to cover on this channel. What do you do when your whole family is full of Trump supporters and you are not? Fake COVID around holidays. Don't ask me how I know, but I'm gonna test positive right after work on December 23rd. They don't believe in COVID. My father sends me more right-focused political emails than I typically get in text call spam from solicitors. I emailed him back after a couple weeks of it saying, "Hello, I'm having trouble finding your unsubscribe button on any of the previous emails you've sent me. Please take me off your list." That shut him up. I had an aunt that would include me in mass emails with batshit right-wing bullshit. I started replying to all debunking the claims. After 2 or 3 times, I stopped getting the emails. Here's what I sent my mom after she sent me some inane garbage. "We are Canadian. To be honest with you, Mom, articles like this are the very things that are making our country so divided and angry at one another. This is just attack after attack with not a single beneficial idea behind it, written to stoke the outrage of people who are already constantly mad about everything. I could easily write a similar article about every single conservative premier in this country, but what purpose would it serve other than to make half the country mad and the other half nod in smug agreement?" He rails on vaccines without mentioning the Harper government is who drastically cut our funding for research and development of vaccines, on LTC homes when those are provincial responsibilities, and the feds had to send in the military just to deal with that clusterfuck. Don't even get me started on Keystone, which Biden campaigned on canceling, but Alberta decided to invest a few billion into anyways, even though the writing was on the wall that Trump was on the way out. Trudeau has spent billions trying to save pipelines, and somehow people view him as anti-oil because he can't wave a magic wand and make them appear. I really worry about the information you get and how it makes you view the world. Do you remember when you came back from Florida and you weren't feeling good? I asked if you thought you had corona, and you replied, "I think they're just trying to scare us." You shouldn't be worried about whoever they is, and instead think about how wherever you got that sentiment from led you to believe this pandemic was a hoax or something not to be worried about. I love you, Mom, and I don't know what type of response you thought this would get. Journalism is supposed to give you information, not push you towards an opinion or make you emotional. I wish I could sit and read this whole thread. I butted heads with my family for years over this. I honestly don't even remember how I started caring so much. I don't remember caring about politics at all prior to 2016. I remember laughing at and even cheering on Trump in the 2016 primary. Then I went home. I don't remember what started it. All I remember is there was an alcohol-fueled discussion about politics, and all I remember is my dad suddenly saying, "Yeah, well, you're a liberal fuck who has been indoctrinated by liberal fucking universities." And I was like, uncalled for. At that point, I think we were discussing Obama, and the sentiment they were conveying was that he was driving the economy and the country into the ground when the data said the exact opposite. Unemployment down, economy up, stock market up, flat denial from my family. Why were they denying basic numbers? I didn't get it. But then it made sense when my family started referring to Obama as that N-word who took all my money. Returning to my hometown in 2015-16, people started being less shy about wearing their racism on their sleeves. People were saying things like, "Thank God for Trump," unironically. It was a weird time, and suddenly Trump got less funny for me. But being labeled and scorned by my family for an offhanded criticism I made of the current Republican narrative at the time had really gotten to me. Hindsight 2020. I shouldn't have let it. I quickly became the black sheep in the family. I was blamed personally for my family's financial struggles. Mind you, I didn't vote until 2016. My younger brother constantly fueled the flame and egged my dad on about how liberals and by extension his eldest son are the source of his financial troubles. I hated talking politics with my family at that point, mostly because they would just talk at me and hope that I responded so they could jump down my throat about being a liberal or whatever. Most of the time, I didn't respond. The times they did push back, I saw dark sides of my family that I didn't know existed. "You'll vote for who I tell you to. I raised you. I paid for your education. You owe me. You're young and naive. One day you'll understand. Your younger brothers who lived at home with my parents and were either jobless or semi-functional human beings at the time are way ahead of you. They already get it. You make less than 100K. You don't matter. Once you have a real job, you'll start seeing it the way we do. Clearly, you don't understand that you need to vote for whoever puts the most money in your pocket. Proceeds to improperly describe marginal tax rates. The most hurtful, unprovoked comment came again from my dad in 2020. Just diagnosed with terminal cancer. I've worked hard for everything I have in my life. I earned it all. The liberal F pointing at me, who think I don't deserve everything I've earned in life. Many derogatory comments about women, healthcare, LGBTQ. How many F letters are in it these days? I stopped engaging altogether shortly before the 2020 election. I have a PhD in virology. I fought my whole family over COVID bull. I finally broke through on that front somewhat because I kept being right, but nowhere else politics-wise. I'd like to think I made amends with my dad before he passed earlier this year. He was still so proud of me, despite our differences, and proud of his granddaughter. I barely speak to my brother. He's done irreparable damage to our relationship, and he's claimed it's all because of politics. I'm not sure I believe him. I think he's just a shitty person. He's gone behind my back and tried to destroy my relationships with each and every family member. He still says unkind shit even though he knows I won't engage. The sad part is, these people just want to belong. They are Trump supporters because their friends, family, and neighbors are Trump supporters. They want to be with the in crowd. If you aren't drinking the Kool-Aid, you become an outcast real quick. They don't know the ins and outs of Trump's policies or accomplishments/failures. You just need to be able to repeat enough of the simple arguments and one-liners to pass as a supporter and dismiss anyone who questions you as a liberal. All they know is Trump is our guy because everyone says he's our guy, and he's going to continue being our guy until everyone starts saying he's not our guy. Have you ever seen What We Do in the Shadows? Be an energy vampire. Pick a subject you know a lot about. When the word Trump is spoken, wait, make it seem natural, and insert your topic in all its minutiae. For me, that might be dogs. Did you know Trump had a childhood dog? All heads turn with great interest. It was a Cocker Spaniel. Did you know Cocker Spaniels were the most popular dog from 1940, 1949? This surprised me because I thought they became popular because of the movie Lady and the Tramp, but I found out the movie was a result of the popularity. But that just isn't like how I imagined it. If I would have made that movie, I would have made Lady Particolored. Did you know that it's possible that a Cocker Spaniel came over on the Mayflower? Everyone has already dispersed. I can hear Colin Robinson. What do you do? Lots of cannabis. At least 4 pots. I was gonna talk to my MAGA fam, but I got high. I was gonna debunk InfoWars, but then I got high. Oh, and now my bro's in jail, and I know why. 'Cause he didn't get high, didn't get high, didn't get high, didn't get high. Also, he stormed the Capitol. It can be difficult to be in a family with different political views, but it is important to remember that these views should not hinder your relationships with your family members. Try to have civil conversations about politics, but also be respectful of each other's opinions and beliefs. If you need to take a break from the conversation to avoid any unnecessary arguments, it may also be helpful to find outside activities to do together that are unrelated to politics, such as going for a walk or playing a board game.